Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and today I just got back from grocery shopping with my mom after work. And so, in this video, I'm going to be doing a TV show review on this kids show which ran from 2004 to 2013. And this is also a show I remember watching. I remember watching when I was a kid for the first time, and I remember enjoying it at the time, and then back in 2015, I used to think it was average until we'll get to the latter in a second. So just in a few minutes. So today's TV show review is going to be on the kids show on Nick Jr., The Backyardigans, created by Janice Burgess. The Backyardigans is a show that came out in 2004 on Nick Jr., like nearly 20 years ago. And so on the show centers around a group of 5 animal neighbors. And you get like a penguin named Pablo, a moose named Tyrone, and this pink thing, which I don't know what you call it, like this pink thing named Uniqua, a hippo named Tasha, and a Joey, as in like a little kangaroo named Austin. So and throughout each episode they share like a large background. They excuse me, they all pretty much have they share like some backyards in between their houses where they live. And so in each episode they meet in the backyard, and they imagine themselves on a fantasy adventure. They imagine themselves on like some sort of like a fantasy adventure. And then the adventures span in a variety of different settings and genres. Like many episodes involve visiting different parts of the world, traveling back and forward in time. And so, and of course the characters, the main characters also use like supernatural or magic powers as well in most of the episodes. And then the characters give themselves different jobs or roles depending on the episode's imaginary setting, and such as detectives, knights, or scientists, or any job role you can think of. And then oh yeah, and then starting with the second season after season 1 wrapped, from season 2 onward, many episodes parody many action adventure blockbuster films such as the James Bond films, the Star Trek films, the Indiana Jones films, as well as Ghostbusters. Yeah. And then the openings and closings of the episodes, so they follow like a similar pattern. Like, and it's like the story, like the episodes and stories usually begin with the characters in the backyard introducing themselves and explaining the scenario before they imagine it. And then when the Backyardigans, when they finish their adventure, most of their adventures like end up wrapping up with their stomachs like rumbling when they hear one of their stomachs rumbling, and which means they're hungry for a snack. And so and the fantasy ends with restoring the original backyard setting, where the fantasy sequence ends and everything turns back to the way it was at the beginning of the episode. And then the Backyardigans, they sing like the closing song to the show, and then they go inside. And then right when the episode ends, the one of the characters usually reopens the door and shouts out a phrase related to the episode or adventure. And yeah, there you have it. So so let me get this straight, guys. Like, 'cause I know there are some people out there who remember this show a lot, and that they still enjoy it and like it to this day. And I can definitely see that, because in my opinion, I used to think The Backyardigans was pretty enjoyable when I first watched it as a little kid, when it was on Nick Jr. or Noggin, whatever. But then back in 2015, in the mid 2010s, like in sometime in 2015, like they at first I used to think it was average back in 2015, where I used to think it was okay and just all right or average or like so. But now that I think about it, this show is actually starting to grow on me recently. Just now, yesterday. Yeah. So and I can see how and I can see why some people out there still enjoy to this day that it was part of their childhood memories. And yeah. and it's kind of hard to believe that this show has been around since nearly 20 years ago, and then the show wrapped production in 2013. Oh yeah, and also the creator of the show, Janice Burgess. Like I've read in various articles about Janice Burgess about the inspirations for the show. Janice Burgess actually grew up. She actually grew up with some blockbuster movies like Die Hard and Terminator 2. Like and it's like, and Janice Burgess like wanted to take those movies and take some of those elements to this movie and put them and parody them on the show itself, the Backyardigans. And and yeah, and plus there was also, and there was this one episode I remember watching a lot called The Yeti. The Yeti was actually an episode of the show where I remember watching that episode a lot, because there was actually an Indiana Jones reference when Tyrone, Uniqua, and Tasha, that they all three of them get chased by a giant snowball. Like that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, because the snowball is like the boulder. And yeah. And I can definitely see how the show does parody some blockbuster movies that Janice Burgess grew up with. Like and like two of her all-time favorite movies, Die Hard and Terminator 2. Yeah, and of course like the ones I mentioned, James Bond, Star Trek, Indiana Jones, and Ghostbusters. Oh yeah, plus the Ghost episode was actually one of the first episodes that aired on television as well, like the Ghost episode. And there's also Pirate Treasure. I remember that episode as well, Pirate Treasure. And oh yeah, and plus there was also a Leapster game I remember playing like a long time ago. I think it was actually based on the episode where Pablo has to find like Tiki Beach and all that, because there was actually like a Leapster version of a Leapster game version of that episode as well. Yeah, and I think I remember I used to have some of the DVDs back then, like Surf's Up. But I actually do have one. I still have one DVD right here that I still have based on the show. And yeah, this is the only Backyardigans DVD I still have to this day. I actually had this DVD for a really long time, like I think like for like a while. But yeah, this DVD is the Legend of the Volcano Sisters. Yeah. And the episodes include the episode itself, The Legend of the Volcano Sisters, Horsing Around, The Swamp Creature, and Special Delivery. The only special feature this DVD includes is a sneak peek of Wonder Pets. Probably because that was around that time when Wonder Pets was a new thing at the time. And also another special feature the DVD includes is also a secret agent dance along. Yeah. Yeah, this is the only Backyardigans DVD I still have. But now that it's starting to grow on me, I was thinking about considering about getting some more DVDs or something. Well, not all the DVDs, just maybe some of them if I feel like it. And plus, and I've read from some people on social media that some users on TikTok even made up their own TikTok shorts about the show that has something to do with the show. Those TikTok viral meme vines and something like that. Well, you know, Vine's not even a thing anymore because now we got TikTok. But I don't really like TikTok that much. But and I know some people out there were kind of like divided. Like I know some people out there that still like the show while some don't. But you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinions on kids shows these days, and you know, but in my opinion, I just think the Backyardigans is starting to grow on me, and even my Uncle Charles even remembers the show as well when I was a little kid, and I gotta say, overall, the Backyardigans is not that bad of a childhood show in my opinion. I would just think it's just a good show from my childhood and now, and yeah, and now that I think about it, my three favorite characters are Pablo, Tasha, and of course Austin. Austin, fun fact, was actually played by Jonah Bobo. Jonah Bobo was actually the same kid from the movies Zathura and Crazy Stupid Love. Oh yeah, and one of the voices of Pablo was not only Jake Goldberg from the Grown Ups films, but also Zach Tyler Eisen, who did Aang from The Last Airbender, like, you know, the Avatar The Last Airbender show. Zach Tyler Eisen also did other voiceover work at the time in 2006, like around the time after the show came out. And yeah. Oh yeah, and before I forget, because the reason also the main reason why the main reason this show is starting to grow on me is because the show's creator, Janice Burgess, has sadly passed away. Yeah, Janice Burgess is dead, and yeah, she was only 72 years old, and she was the one who created the show, and before the Backyardigans, Janice Burgess was an executive in charge of production on Blue's Clues, and right before she created the Backyardigans and made our childhood and made our and of course and she gave us some of the good childhood memories of ours. Yeah, and I can see and I can probably see Janice Burgess was probably a wonderful woman, as she had this good idea of creating the Backyardigans, and how she got inspired by, and how this show inspires like some action films that she grew up with. And yeah, so with that being said, rest in peace, Janice Burgess. Thank you for the childhood memories. Yeah, so overall, the Backyardigans was not a bad show in my opinion. It's like it's a good show, and yeah, and plus I almost forgot to mention about like some of the musical numbers that were featured on the show. Like some of the musical numbers were pretty tolerable. I mean, they weren't that bad in my opinion. Yeah, but I just thought I'd bring that up just to make sure just to make sure, just to make sure I don't forget. All right, guys. I'm just gonna wrap up this review here. So overall, The Backyardigans was a pretty good show from my childhood. Now that I think about it, now that it's starting to grow on me, and I'm gonna give The Backyardigans. I mean, I don't really rate TV shows that much, but but of course, I think I would just rate The Backyardigans 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, and then yeah, so let's see. I'm trying to remember. What else? What else was I gonna say? I mean, some of you guys probably saw my post about it. So yeah. But anyway, so there you have it, guys. That's my review on The Backyardigans. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Oh yeah, and by the way, thank you all for subscribing and helping this channel surpass 16,000 subscribers. You are the best. All right. I mean, you guys already saw my short about that, so there you have it. Okay, so that's going to be it for this TV show review. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.